Hello, my love. Welcome to another episode of Blisstopia podcast. I am your host, Mercedes Castellani, and today we're going to talk about business trips, how it started and how it's going, basically. Before I found my purpose, the kind of business trips that I had, and the kind of business trips that I have right now that I found my purpose. And the idea behind this episode is to inspire you, to let you know what's possible, what could actually happen for you if you were to find your purpose, go all in on your dreams. So the idea here is to share very openly, very vulnerably how my journey was with business trips. I think business trips are also like the very, very top of the iceberg and the thing that you really remember as iconic moments in your career. So I want to share how things were for me in the past before I found my purpose and how business trips are going now that I actually found my purpose and created my own business. So, this is going to be a short and sweet episode. I want to share with you two extracts of my life. One is from March 2023, and the other one is from March 2025. So, the first extract of my life is basically before I aligned with my purpose. So, in March 2023, I had already been creating my business on the side, but I still was a marketing director. So I was doing two things at the same time, which was a lot of work and extremely hard, as you can imagine. And I still was in the corporate world as a marketing director. So I was working in the world of wine, and there is one event, which is like the most important event of the year for the wine industry, which is called ProWine. This is held in Germany every year, and this is where all the biggest producers, importers, and distributors of wine gather. And they're coming from literally all over the world: Europe, Asia, Latin America, US. They are all coming to Germany to discuss wine businesses. So, being a wine lover, you can imagine that this was my dream for so many years. Imagine something that you are absolutely in love with. And now imagine that there's a fair where people from all over the world come and they are discussing this topic. And you get to try different things and you get to talk to different people. And for 3 or 4 days, you are literally nonstop talking about that thing that you love. So for me, being a wine lover, because I entered into wine because I love wine. It was my hobby. I'm a wine snob. I love great wine and I love knowing everything there is to know about good wines, fine wines. So, being a wine lover, this place, this kind of setting was literally my dream for so many years. And then that dream became a reality because I found myself in the biggest wine fair in the world as a marketing director, which is the position that I had always wanted and the position that I worked hard for so many years to achieve, to get that title. It's kind of like the holy grail when you have a marketing career. It's kind of what everybody in the marketing world wants to be, the marketing director. So there I was, being the marketing director in the biggest wine fair in the world. And as I said, this was first a dream. Then that dream became a reality. I went to that wine fair for several years. First as an area manager when I was working for a couple of years in sales. Then when I got back into marketing as a marketing manager. And then as a marketing director when I finally became a marketing director. So there I was, the biggest wine fair in the world as a marketing director. Being the marketing director, I was the one who had created the stand where our wines would be showcased to clients. And I was really proud of being in that setting, with that role, with the level of freedom and autonomy that I had to create a stand in that fair. So it was supposed to be a dream come true. It was a dream come true for many years. But then the last time that I did it, which was in March 2023, it was not a dream come true. It was also a nightmare because I knew at that point that I didn't want it to be in marketing anymore. I didn't want it to be a marketing director anymore. I didn't want to discuss about wines anymore. I didn't want to be related to wines anymore because they're bad for your health. I just didn't want it to be in that world anymore, but I had to be there, right? Because when you're working in a company, they're not asking you whether you want to do something or not, whether that feels aligned or not. They are buying your hours and they are telling you what to do with your hours, your precious, rare hours of your own life. They are buying those hours and they are using those hours. So they bought my hours and I was supposed to be in Germany. I went to Germany. We had a beautiful stand, but I just didn't want it to be there. So the way I felt in that trip was like an actor, really. I felt like I had to portray this image. I had to be a marketing director and pretend that I was interested in topics in which I wasn't interested anymore. I had been interested in those topics for many years, but then I changed my mind. Then I wanted something else. And there I was, still talking about wines, pretending that I cared, even though I didn't. And it was just hard to be there, very, very stressful to do something that you don't want to do. Because if you want to do something and it's a little bit hard, you're going to find the motivation and you're going to make it work. But I didn't care about those topics anymore. I didn't want it to be there. So all of the stress that was there, I could feel it directly in my body. So I was feeling empty. I was feeling stressed. I was feeling dysregulated. My nervous system was dysregulated because I didn't want it to be there. And also something very, very interesting happened in that last wine fair. And I think it literally was a sign from the universe. On that wine fair, March 2023, that was when I did the investment on the coaching process that allowed me to find confidence inside of myself, to go all in on my business, and to actually quit my job. And I do think that this was a sign from the universe because my coach could have chosen literally any week in the entire year. She chose that week. And that week was literally the busiest week for me during the whole year. And I could have easily said, no, well, whatever. I'm going to do it next time. I'm going to wait. I don't have time. I couldn't. I was so committed. I knew that I wanted to do this, and I would wake up earlier to check some of the things that I need to check. And I did the investment right there and then. The first coaching process that I ever invested in was 3,000 euros. And I found a moment, I found a way. In the busiest week in the whole year, I found a way to wake up early, to watch some videos, and to make the investment. And I find it so beautiful that the universe gave me that possibility of completing that cycle, finishing that cycle, being in that wine fair. It did feel like a huge achievement to be in that wine fair, to create the stand, and to leave that job having done that, having been there, having put that flag on the top of the mountain, and with the possibility of saying, okay, I did this, I've been here, I achieved what I wanted to achieve. And now I want more. Now I'm ready for more. Now I'm ready for different. Now I'm ready to change lives. Now I'm ready to do something that makes sense. Now I'm ready to do something that has an impact. And it was like the universe brought me to this event. And at the same time, that event was the moment in which I invested in my business, in my mindset, in finding the courage to go all in on my business and my dreams. And everything lined up so beautifully that I am sure that that was not a coincidence. That was the universe saying, amazing, you've made it. You got where you wanted to go. And now we have so much more in store for you. Get ready. So there I was, March 2023, in a place in which I didn't want it to be, in a role that made me proud because I worked hard for it, but I didn't want it to be that person anymore. I didn't want that job. I didn't want those conversations anymore. I had the best boss ever and I had the best team ever, but I mean, team under me and team working next to me in the other teams, not in the marketing team. People were amazing, but I just didn't want it to be there anymore. I changed my mind. That's basically what happened. I changed my mind because I decided that I wanted more, that my soul needed more, that I was ready for more, more impact, more changing lives, more doing something that makes sense. So I finished that event. I was literally on the floor, literally on the floor. I recently uploaded a reel. You can watch the video if you go over to my Instagram. And I recorded video because I was literally on the floor, rock bottom. And I acknowledged to myself, I don't want to be here anymore. It's hard to sustain a job that I'm not interested in anymore. And to be creating a business on the side, it was a lot for one person. And that was the moment when I decided that I had to leave because it was too much to hold those two things at the same time. So I left. Later that year, in September 2023, I quit my job. And I never looked back. I didn't miss it at all, at all. There wasn't one day in which I said, oh my God, I miss my job so much. No, I never missed it. I thought about it for so long. I dreamt about this life for so long, and I never missed that job. The only thing that I missed was the certainty, knowing that there's a salary, that it's going to have the same amount every month. It was a very good amount. That is the only thing that I missed, the certainty. But the actual job that I was doing and the actual conversations and the actual projects, not at all. Never missed it. Now, let's travel forward in time to March 2025. This year, I just came back from another business trip that doesn't feel like a business trip. It feels amazing because in my mind, business trips are associated with stress, lots of shitty coffee, lots of like very, very little hours of sleep, lots of unhealthy food because you're eating whatever you have. So this trip that I did this year in March 2025 literally doesn't feel like a business trip because it was the complete opposite of all of that. We slept many hours, we ate super healthy food, and we were pretty relaxed, pretty relaxed. And this year what I did is that I hosted the She Thrives retreat in Mallorca. This is another business that I have alongside Blisstopia. And in this retreat, it's a holistic retreat for women. So we help women develop themselves physically through yoga, spiritually and emotionally through my workshops and masterclasses, and financially, because we work with an independent financial advisor that helps women have new ideas, have their own investments, and continue to grow financially. So we do this in Mallorca. We did the first one in March 2024, and this was the second one in March 2025. And it was a business trip. It was literally for work. But at the same time, we were in a gorgeous villa in Mallorca. We had a private chef cooking for us, veggie meals and gluten-free meals in my case. And we had the most amazing conversations. We had women from the UK, from Italy, from Denmark, from Poland, from New Zealand joining the retreat. And they were just all fantastic women. And we had amazing conversations, so deep about so many different topics. We talked about spirituality. We talked about feeling and releasing emotions. We talked about finances. We talked about our dreams. We talked about our partners. We talked about so many deep and interesting topics. And during this whole retreat, I felt, first of all, I'm so good at this. It comes out so easily to me to listen to people, to understand which are the flaws in their subconscious mind, what is not working subconsciously, really support them, support these women in changing the narratives and choosing narratives that are actually supporting their dreams. And this comes so easily to me. I love listening to people. I literally enjoy listening to people. And then when I listen to people, I'm thinking it's like I have subtitles. And when people talk to me, I'm like, limiting belief, emotion, limiting belief, identity. It's like I can spot in the conversation things in the narrative. These people are amazing, but things in the narrative that are not supporting their dreams. So I can help them in that moment through a conversation, change that narrative. I can offer a different perspective, a reframe, a different way to interpret a certain situation. And this comes really easily to me. Listening to people, spotting narrative that is not helping them in their dreams, and allowing them to change the narrative and go after their dreams. And then the other part of my job is to create masterclasses and workshops that are insightful, that provide a ton of value. And I want to make people feel something, because if they can feel something in that masterclass, in that workshop, whether that's hope or power or possibility, if they can feel something, they can take that feeling home and then they can intellectualize, okay, how am I going to make this happen? What do I need to do? Which are the action steps? But maybe they can't reach the feeling on their own. So I take it as my job to provide insights, so content, intellectual content, but I take it as my job to make them feel in a certain way so that they can feel inspired, empowered, and then take that back home and make those big dreams happen, whatever that means for different women. Big dream can be growing their business, or maybe going in a self-development and self-love journey. It can be going deeper into their spirituality. It can take so many different ways, shapes, and forms depending on each woman. But if they can feel inspired, powered, inspired and empowered, they can do whatever they want when they get back home. So we were in Mallorca for 1 week. We slept very well. Imagine you're in a villa. There's literally no noise. I had a huge king size bed just for myself, a huge room just for myself. We were eating delicious, healthy food, vegetarian food. And I was meditating every day, but I do that anyways. Even when I'm home, I meditate every day. And I took a lot of baths because that was like my moments during the evenings to unwind, come back to myself, tune in with myself, and then be ready for the next day. And I left this retreat feeling fulfilled, feeling like my job makes sense. My job changes people. My job changed lives to the women who came to the retreat. And I left the retreat feeling so much love for these women who are absolutely amazing in different ways. But the conversations that we had were so deep, so beautiful that I just left feeling so much love for them because they are amazing, and so much love for my work and what I do. And I also left with so much gratitude that we had this experience together, that these women trusted us with their time, with their investment. They came to the retreat. They absolutely loved it. They were absolutely transformed. And I'm just so grateful that this is my job now. These are my business trips now. And I want to share this with you to inspire you and to show you just what's possible. That not all business trips have to be dreadful and boring and stressful and filled with terrible food and terrible coffee and very little sleep. You can have business trips that feel good if you define them, if you organize them, if you are working on something that is truly interesting for you, that you feel is making an impact in the world. And on top of that, you're making money because you're there. So I want to share this experience with you to show you very quickly in a very short episode what's possible. It is possible to enjoy your business trips. It is possible to have fun. It is possible to come back home and feel like, wow, I'm so lucky that this is my life now. These are my business trips now. This is my work now. So if you are not loving your business trips, I just want you to know that everything is going to be okay. Maybe you just need to make some changes. That's it. Maybe you need to find a new job. Maybe you need to create your own business. You just need to shift a couple of things, but you will be able to enjoy your work and particularly your business trips. So if you're ready to make some changes, you want to find out what your purpose in life is so that then you can go on business trips that feel literally like holidays and not like work, then you should definitely consider joining the Path to Purpose program. We will work together for 4 months. The first month, we're going to understand who you really are, what you want in life, your values, your priorities. The second month, we're going to dream. What's your dream lifestyle? What do you actually want in life? Would you change jobs? Would you create your own company? which form could this actually take? What's the big dream? What's the big vision for your life and your career? In month number 3, we're going to design. So once we are very clear on your dream, we're going to understand which form, which shape that could actually take in real life. Do you need to change jobs? Do you need to create your own business? What kind of business? To really start designing a life that will make you feel fulfilled and that is in line with your values and priorities in life. And then in month number 4, we're going to do. So you're going to implement all of those things. You're going to make your dreams come true, and you're going to leave this program with a roadmap with very clear milestones and action steps to transform a dream that is still in the air into your actual reality. So if you're ready to dive into your purpose, get really serious about this, do this with someone who was lost for 2 or 3 years, who tried absolutely everything that was out there, and who managed to create a method that will allow you to find your purpose in 4 months instead of years, then come and join the Blisstopia Life Path to Purpose program. You will find the link in the show notes. Just go click. You're going to book a call with me. We're going to have a chat. And if we are a match, if I'm the right coach for you and you are the right client for me, we're going to work together for 4 months. And I can guarantee that your life is going to be transformed. I can see the smile and the energy in my clients when they find that thing that they actually want to do and they start implementing it and they start seeing that it becomes a reality. I just can't put into words the shift in their energy, the shift in massive, massive, massive energy coming through them to put all of those things in place. So if you're just curious about this and you're like, what is this? Is it for me? Not? Book a call. Let's have a chat. I can explain a lot more in detail on a call. This call has no commitments. At the end of the call, you can say yes, you can say no, and we're just gonna have a chat. And if we decide both that it's a good match, I'm the right coach for you, you're the right client for me, we're gonna proceed and we're gonna transform your life forever. Trust me. I will see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, in Blisstopia we trust.